At the end of October, the world will witness an unconventional clash of two fighting worlds, as the world of boxing and the world of mixed martial arts collide in a blockbuster event where reigning heavyweight champion of the world Tyson Fury rolls out the red carpet for the former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou to welcome him to the ultimate arena of the combat world, the boxing ring. These two fighters, hailing from separate corners of the fight game, might as well be wielding different ends of the same stick. What's the common thread, you ask? They are, at their core, men of fisticuff prowess. Behold, as the world of boxing hosts yet another extravaganza, where a mixed martial artist trades in his grappling gloves for the glitz and glamour of the boxing ring, all for the sheer delight of millions of global spectators, and, let's not forget, a sizable addition to the old bank account. In this video here on The Fight Game, we'll be taking a look at these two fighters, taking a look at some of their career highlight moments, and compare them as they prepare for their mega fight come October 28th. The fight will be taking place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, a country becoming increasingly synonymous with big fight nights. You could say Saudi Arabia is where Tyson Fury's fists meet Francis Ngannou's ferocity, and they're both hoping that the oil money brings a little extra shine to their knockout performances in the desert. They're both big men, so expect big punches to be exchanged. An interesting little fact for those that don't know, Ngannou's first choice in the path of his combat sports life was actually boxing. At the age of 22, Ngannou began to train in boxing. At the time, his family weren't entirely sold on the idea of him pursuing a career of getting punched in the face for a living, understandably so. Born in Cameroon at the age of 26, he ventured to Paris to make an attempt at a career in professional boxing. However, the stars would not align for him, and he would soon end up homeless on the streets. During this challenging chapter of his life, he stumbled upon a gym called the MMA Factory after making contact with some of the right people. Although he had an eagerness to box, the coach saw potential for him in the world of MMA, and, well, I guess the rest is history. A truly amazing story of coming from nothing to now competing at the pinnacle of the boxing world for a sizable amount of cash, no doubt. Then again, it's probably unfair to say he came from nothing, because, well, to come from where he was to where he is now requires something more than nothing. It requires unbelievable resilience and deep character. His journey started wanting to box. Life had other plans for him, and he made his name in MMA, so I suppose it's quite fitting that he ties a knot doing what he always wanted to do, to box. And what better opponents than the reigning heavyweight champion of the world for his professional debut? We'll liken this fight to the meeting of Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, and a common theme in that fight was, although yes, Mayweather was favored to win, because of the craziness of the event and how unusual it was, there was an X factor there that simply wasn't in your generic boxing matchups. So even though we all pretty much knew Mayweather would win, you can bet that we all tuned in to have a look, if not out of anything else, out of pure curiosity. So the question we ask is this: does Fury versus Ngannou have some sort of X factor that will entice you to watch? Well, yes, it does, and it's something that boxing is very familiar with, and that's good old-fashioned raw punching power. Francis Ngannou is said to have one of the hardest punches not just in MMA history, but in human history. Punching power is one of those things that isn't exclusive to just those who know how to throw a punch with perfect technique. Punching power absolutely can just be something someone is born with. And it's possible for someone who doesn't even know how to throw a jab to pick up a pair of boxing gloves and just be able to hit like an absolute truck. He currently holds the record for the hardest punch ever recorded when he struck a machine named the Power Cube at the UFC High Performance Institute. It read his power equivalent to 96 horsepower. A truly astonishing measurement indeed, and it's going to be very interesting seeing this element play out in the fight. But if you were to take a look at all the names who have recorded their scores on this punching machine, one man's name will not be on that list. Of course, I'm talking about Deontay Wilder. Wilder, a boxer who Fury has beaten twice, is much more widely regarded as being the hardest-hitting man on the planet. So, this opens up a little side debate. Does Francis Ngannou hit harder than Deontay Wilder? Sure, Ngannou may have the hardest punch ever measured, but Wilder has never been measured. So, what do you think? Who hits harder, Ngannou or Wilder? I think most people will be going with Deontay Wilder here. When you take a look at a few of his knockouts, it quickly becomes clear that while yes, Ngannou may hit hard, perhaps Wilder is just on another level. Let us know in the comments if you think Wilder or Ngannou hits harder. So, on the topic of who hits harder than who, we fixate on the fact that Fury has already been in with perhaps the most dangerous puncher ever, so it's not exactly new to him. It's not something he's never seen before. The fight between Fury and Ngannou could go a variety of ways. We really don't know for sure what it's going to look like because it's so unconventional in its nature. Fury can box a lot of ways. In his beginning days, he was more of a boxer, but recently has turned into more of a puncher. Tyson Fury has had an epic career of beating some of the best that boxing can offer. After bouncing back from mental health issues, he has racked up a great collection of victories. Of course, there is one man we all want to see him face, and that's Alexander Usyk. Fingers crossed we will get to see him and Usyk bounce fists after this fight to finally solidify an undisputed heavyweight champion. The last time we saw an undisputed champion crowned in the heavyweight division was over 20 years ago, when Lennox Lewis beat Evander Holyfield. However, that was in the 3-belt era. We are now in the 4-belt era, and no such undisputed champion has been crowned yet in the heavyweight division. Fury has been eyeing up retirement in recent years, but every boxer is cursed with the idea that in boxing, there's always someone else to beat. There's always someone out there who people think could beat you, and many boxers find themselves in a perpetual state of trying to prove themselves, and no matter what they do, there'll always be someone else next in line to fight. But may the boxing world kindly ask Tyson Fury for one last test, for one more fight against Usyk. One fight to settle it all. We promise we'll let you retire in peace then. That's of course until someone else comes onto the scene and we're beckoning you out of that retirement chair for one last one. One more time. In all seriousness, the fight we have in our hands here is an interesting one. Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. Some may call it a joke, some may think it's a great fight, but I think we'll all be having a look at it out of pure curiosity to see how it goes. At the end of the day, even if Ngannou's chances are near zero, they're not exactly zero. The boxing ring is always home to that puncher's chance, that perfect punch that may land and change the whole boxing world. So when we watch this fight, we'll be looking out for that moment, where Ngannou might land that one punch that jumps us out of our seats and drops our jaws in shock. So tune in and let's watch this crazy event unfold, because at the end of the day, this is prize fighting, and anything is possible. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider giving it a like as it helps us grow the channel. We'll see you in the next video here on The Fight Game. Also, feel free to leave a comment down below about what you think of this crossover event.